Hello friends, I'm Kurt Bergland. This is my Monday book review. We're always dealing with the topic of baseball. Sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's non-fiction. Sometimes it's a brand new book hot off the press, and sometimes it's a book that's not even in print or just out of print. Today we have a book that is non-fiction and fairly recent, 2017's Smart Baseball, written by Keith Law. You may know him from ESPN. The book is published by Meadow Press. It is about 280 pages long. There is an index. There are a lot of tables and charts, and there's no pictures. Keith Law in this book takes on a lot of different topics, everything from looking at different statistics to different strategies, sacrifice bunts, intentional walks, WAR, on-base percentage, a lot of different sections. None of them are terribly long, and so none of them are overly math heavy, in my opinion. And I've read some books that are, and that makes them kind of dry. Keith Law's book is not like that. It does reference this book, which I'm going to review for next week, called The Book. He makes several references to this and even uses some of their data to make some of his points. He's generally positive about this book and uses it in a positive light, but we'll talk more about this book next week. Keith Law's book for this week, Smart Baseball, he has a particular writing style, and I find that some people like it and some people don't. He's writing for a he's writing to persuade, and in doing so, he's intentionally, I would say, trying to ruffle some feathers of traditional baseball thinkers. I'm going to read to you one passage about the intentional walk to kind of illustrate what I mean, and then I want to make a point. This is from page 93 of Smart Baseball. Keith Law, these are his words. But many intentional walks are nothing more than handing the opposition that aforementioned free shot at a bonus run. If the intentional walk does not give you a more favorable platoon matchup, or doesn't at least bring a substantially worse hitter up to the plate, it's probably a terrible idea. When you hear about walking a guy to set up a double play, it's probably a terrible idea. When you hear about walking a guy intentionally because he's hot, that's almost certainly a terrible idea. And when you hear about how you can't let that guy beat you, well, I'm pretty sure the goal is to not let anyone beat you, so that's a terrible idea too. Terrible ideas abound in baseball. It would be good to have fewer of them. That's kind of what he does. He presents a bunch of data, which I didn't show you, and then he will draw conclusions. And the way that he draws conclusions is with a very, I would say, pointed writing style. If you're not comfortable reading that, then Smart Baseball is probably not a book you're going to enjoy. If you like that, he does get to the point, and I will give him that. And he is capable of a sort of nuanced opinion where in some cases a thing is okay and in some cases it's not. So he's not an all or nothing kind of thinker. And I view that as a positive. But if you don't like someone that's very direct when they draw conclusions, this guy's probably not your cup of tea. I want to say something else before I move on. This is an advocacy of data analysis and of quantifiable use of statistics in baseball. And as such, he's trying to move people toward a more analytically oriented way of looking at strategies rather than the way that baseball at least had been done for many, many decades, for its whole history, really, until at least the 60s when Pete Palmer started writing, and maybe the 80s when Bill James got published nationally. So he's trying to push people in that direction. But he also, I think, importantly, talks insightfully about where maybe analytics has gone too far and has missed the point on some old wisdom maybe not being so bad, even from an analytics standpoint for baseball. Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to be doing my second installment of Strategy Stumpers. And in that episode of Strategy Stumpers at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'm going to be dealing with the intentional walk and when it's a good idea to use and when it's not a good idea to use. And I'm going to be asking for your thoughts about some specific circumstances. We know, and Keith Law pretty much supports the idea that as a general practice, the intentional walk is a bad idea, but what are the exceptions? And so I'm putting in a plug for you to join me tomorrow morning and analyze what the exceptions to the don't intentionally walk people concept might be. So join me for that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. The book is called Smart Baseball. The writer is Keith Law. I picked this book up for about $7 at a used bookstore locally here. I think it's worth it, or it wouldn't be on my review show. Thanks for joining me. I hope you'll make a habit. Join me again next Monday when we will be looking at the book. Thanks for being with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. My name's Kurt Bergland. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you tomorrow for Strategy Stumpers. So long, everybody.